Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Monday, April 26, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Tim fucking GIBiz.
2 years ago today, Bless, we were sitting in a theater and we heard Captain America say Avengers Assemble for the first goddamn time. 2 years since Endgame. 3 years since
wild.
Infinity War. How is that possible, man?
That's crazy. I last week I actually watched Endgame again, just because I think I got hyped for watching Falcon.
Just knew.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, man? I was impressed watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so just from the fact that I would never have guessed that the scene where, spoilers for Endgame if you somehow missed it, the scene where Captain America, or where Steve Rogers, I should say, gives over his shield to Sam, I would never have guessed that it would lead to a show that dives into like the dynamics of the shield and race in America and all that stuff in the way that it does. But then also, yeah, I was just like hyped. I was like, man, I gotta go back and watch Endgame again because, man, what a movie! What a movie that was.
What a motion picture. That's what they call them back in my day. Bless.
Motion picture. Have you? Has there been anything as hyped as Endgame? Like in terms of a movie
in the
release?
world? No,
in the
never.
World.
Just period.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. Right before the show, you mentioned wanting to bring something up during the show.
It was this.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
When do you think we're gonna get the next Avengers movie?
I mean, at this point, predicting MCU has been really difficult because every time I'm sure they're gonna do something, they go in a slightly different direction. So I don't really know, but based on everything we know of announced shows and new shows and movies being literally announced like every freaking week, it's like in the last month or two, we got an Echo show announced, a Wakanda show announced, and a Captain America 4 movie. And it's just like, what the shit? Okay, I guess this is all happening. But I still stand that it's going to be a while till Avengers, and I imagine Phase 5 will end with a Avengers movie of some sort. A bigger.
So you don't think we're going to get one for Phase 4?
No, I think Phase 4 is going to be a lot more about building up different teams, different sides, and whatever. But, you know.
We'll have to wait and see, Tim. Enough about Avengers. Let's talk about some video games. Today's stories include a brand new Ratchet and Clank trailer, a brand new mode for Apex Legends, and more, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, and correct us if we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping for you. We got a lot of housekeeping. P.S. I Love You XOXO this week is being pushed from Tuesday and is going up later in the week. So there will be no Patreon live recording for that one. So be on the lookout for it when it drops. What you can check out right now if you want to is Kind of Funny Xcast. That went up over the weekend. They talk all about Battlefield and have on LordCognito as a guest. And LordCognito is one of the coolest nicknames you can have.
Name.
Maybe it's their first name. I have no idea. But either way, it's a really cool name. You can catch that everywhere where you normally do. Then, as a reminder, our Kind of Funny first impressions of Returnal are up right now on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. So if you want to know how I feel in my first few hours playing Returnal, you can check that out. Then, in case you missed it, Kind of Funny podcast went up over the weekend. Actually, no, it went up this morning. And apparently they're ranking the planets and members of NSYNC. Did I get that correct?
It is a banger of an episode. Like, it is very rare on the Kind of Funny podcast that we stick to one topic the entire course of the show, and this week we did it, and that topic was ranking the planets, NSYNC members, and Backstreet Boys members all in one list.
Oh, okay. I was my next question. I was like, is it all together?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
what are the the parameters? Like, how are you guys going about this?
Wait and see, man. You gotta watch it.
Damn. Okay, I might have to check that one out. Also, in case you missed it, Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale reactions went up over the weekend, and the Mortal Kombat in review also went up. All of those you can catch on your podcast services or on youtube.com/kindoffunny. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Mick at the Nanobiologist, Tom Bach, Trent Berry, and Blackjack. Today we're brought to you by Dr. Squatch, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, Caviar, and Channel Fireball. But I'll tell you about all of those later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
Baker's dozen.
And Tim, I tweeted this out earlier that the coffee, the caffeine is coursing through my veins this morning. I don't know if you can tell.
Cheers.
Cheers. Look at this. We both got the iced coffee from Starbucks. This morning when I woke up, I took my shower and I started putting together the KFGD doc. And as I was putting it together, I was like, man, I need some caffeine like earlier than usual. And so I made myself some tea. I made myself some morning tea. But that doesn't give me the same. Oh, dude, let me spill the tea, man. The morning tea that I usually make doesn't usually get me the same shot of caffeine as the coffee usually does. And so by the time I finished my tea, about an hour into making the doc, I was like, all right, I need some coffee. I need some actual coffee to actually get me to where I need to be. And let me tell you, I have surpassed where I need to be. It was like getting like basically double the times of caffeine as I usually get in the morning. So if I seem like I'm high off my own supply, it's because I am, man. I am.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Is that Starbucks coffee. Let's start with story number 1. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart got a new trailer, baby. I'm reading from Alyssa Mercante at GamesRadar, who breaks down a few details from it. Kevin, I have a trailer that you can pull up here. That is the footage of the new trailer. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has dropped a new gameplay trailer that officially introduces Rivet, the female Lombax that's been teased for months. The mysterious new Lombax is called Rivet, and she's a resistance fighter from another dimension. It certainly seems like the upcoming Ratchet and Clank title will allow us to control both Ratchet and Rivet in this new dimension, which is ruled by Emperor Nefarious. We get a new look at the new Nefarious city in the gameplay trailer, as well as the iconic Ratchet and Clank locations Sargasso and Torin 4, which have gotten a little alternate dimension makeover. The PS5 exclusive looks great in the latest trailer with outrageous weapons and gameplay mechanics, all with the gorgeous visual capabilities of new-gen hardware. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was built specifically for the PS5, so expect it to really sing on the console. The trailer has also confirmed that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is getting a special PlayStation State of Play later this week. The State of Play will debut on Thursday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Tim, have you gotten a chance to check out this trailer yet?
Yeah, we can just wrap it up and go home. Video games have peaked in how beautiful they can look. This is it. We're not going to get better than this. We've talked for decades at this point of, wow, this video game, it looks like real basketball game. It looks like NBA's on TV. Or, oh man, this actually looks like a Toy Story movie, but we're playing it. No, we're there. Like, this is ridiculously gorgeous, and I can't believe how seamless the cinematics blend into the gameplay. Like, this is 10 out of 10 perfect looking, right?
Oh yeah, this looks like it's going to be one of the best looking games on the PS5, not the best looking game on the PS5. And I love where we're at right now, where we've gotten now a few big first party PlayStation games that are exclusive to the PS5 between Demon's Souls, the upcoming Returnal, and now Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And I think the big exclusive PlayStation 5 games are really making a case for, yeah, no, this hardware is fucking dope, like in terms of how good these games can look. Because playing Demon's Souls, that is one of the best looking games I've ever played. Previewing Returnal, like every environment in Returnal, every combat sequence, I should say, looks like the 4th of July with how much lighting, particle effects, how all that stuff looks bouncing all around. It looks incredible. Like, it looks fantastic, and this looks like it's gonna be another one where watching this trailer, seeing Rivet go through all the different environments, each environment looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I'm just checking right now to see if I can say this, and I can. I've been playing a little bit of Returnal as well, and I can only talk about the preview stuff, but the thing that has blown me away the most by far with Returnal is how insane the haptic feedback in the DualSense is. It is single-handedly the most immersive video game experience I've ever had, and I did not expect that from a Housemarque game. It is so much the point of the game, where it makes it so much better, so much more immersive, and imagining what that could look like when the game looks this good too, for like what Insomniac might be able to do with it when it is built for the ground up for the PS5 system, and not something like Miles Morales where it's there but clearly is also being built for PS4 as well. There's something about it that we've gotten taste, but we haven't really gotten that full steak dinner of what a PS5 exclusive can be on every level, when it's dealing with 3D audio, when it's dealing with ray tracing and all the graphic fun stuff that the PS5 can give. But on top of that, having that DualSense activity going on, and everything I'm seeing from this game, I'm getting really, really excited. Bless. I was already peak excited for this. We did Gamescast last week talking about what games we're most hyped for this year, and this one's definitely the first one chronologically of the year that I'm like, I can't freaking wait for this to come out. Resident Evil Village, I'm excited for, but this is definitely the one. And seeing this trailer only makes it harder to wait until June.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think bringing up the DualSense stuff is really good to bring up because we're still in the place where we can't go to physical events to actually preview games like Ratchet and Clank. Like there was no E3 to go to last year. There's no PlayStation's not flying people out to come test out the game and all that stuff. And so we've not been able to really give any sort of preview impressions in terms of what the DualSense might feel like in this game. And so really we don't know. But coming off of Returnal, I mentioned in my preview that a really cool thing that game does is with the DualSense, with each gun has an alt fire. And the way that you activate it is by pulling through all the way on the L2 button. To do your regular fire, if you want to aim, the adaptive triggers only notch halfway, and so you pull halfway to aim, and then you press R2 to shoot, of course, and then to activate your alt fire, you pull through all the way, and that is a really, really cool use of the DualSense. And I mentioned this in my preview that usually when games try that stuff out, so far it's been hit and miss for me. Where playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, for example, I liked it at first, but then after a while, I was like, I don't necessarily like the almost like springy kind of effect that they've added to the L2. Like it makes it kind of difficult to have the kind of precision that I've wanted personally out of that game. And Returnal absolutely nails it. And it makes me think about, what if Ratchet and Clank has it so that every single gun utilizes the DualSense differently? Because that's a thing they could do. The adaptive triggers has so much variability to them where you can make certain guns have that springy thing. You can make certain guns pull halfway and then press L2 all the way in order to have an alt fire. You can make certain guns just do all sorts of different crazy shit with the DualSense. I'm super excited to see how that stuff comes into play and pans out.
Totally.
What else I'm excited?
Go for it. Real quick, Wes, I just want to say, because we've been talking about this DualSense in a couple different ways on Gamescast and stuff. One of them being I've been playing a lot of Crash 4 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, the PS5 version, or not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, 1 and 2 on PS5. Yeah. And they added the haptic trigger type stuff, and it somehow it gets distracting in some ways where it doesn't feel like perfectly integrated or whatever. But I've made it a call to myself that I am not going to turn off the haptic stuff in a game for the rest of the year. I want to play the games as the developers are making them with these things, and I want to experience it because I think that there's that level of discomfort we're all going to have because it doesn't feel how we're used to games feeling. But I believe in this stuff, and games like Astro's Playroom and Returnal have been really, really, really proving to me that there's something special here, and we need to support it, and we need to not turn it off if we want more developers to really double down and make it worthwhile and not just have it be an afterthought. So I'm saying that right now. The Tim Geddes promise to the people, to all the gamers out there, I'm not turning off haptic feedback, and neither should you.
Preached him. Speaking of Ratchet and Clank and Returnal, I want to pull in a question from Lucid Dream, who writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like you can, and says Sony has been doing a decent job marketing Returnal over the past month by steadily releasing trailers and promoting the game on social media channels. However, with today's announcement of Ratchet and Clank of a Ratchet and Clank centric state of play coming on Thursday, they're potentially undoing a lot of the hype that has been building up for Returnal by overshadowing it with a bigger title. I have to imagine the review embargo drops before the state of play, but this kind of mixed messaging seems dubious and completely avoidable. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time they've done this either. Concrete Genie, anyone? Why not wait until next week to celebrate Ratchet and Clank? Thanks. Tim, do you feel so? Returnal, right, to catch people up, I believe comes out this Friday. It comes out the 30th. Which is this Friday. Does dropping a Ratchet and Clank State of Play on Thursday undermine Returnal's release?
I mean, yes and no, right? In a perfect world, the games wouldn't step on each other and each get their perfect marketing beats that just kind of lead into the next thing. But unfortunately, that's just not how games work, especially given the state of the world right now, where we're already dealing with games, or at least in the sense of Returnal, games that have been delayed. Right. So the original plan is out the window. So while that still means that they might be able to change things on the other side, on the Ratchet side, it gets a lot harder when you're talking about these big moving pieces, and especially when it's PlayStation with the state of play, which there haven't been too many this year. I can imagine that they're like, there's certain things that like we got to get these marketing beats going because we know what we need to hit with Ratchet leading into that June release, right? Whereas Returnal, they're kind of like, I betting on reviews kind of telling the story at this point. So having this come out Thursday is like, okay, cool. There's some Ratchet news going on, but whenever people are able to talk about Returnal, those reviews hopefully are going to speak for themselves on the quality of the game.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit of a weird move to drop a state of play on the same day or on the day before you're dropping Returnal. But I do think it is different strategies for different games. Returnal, I'm with you that Returnal I think is going to speak more in terms of reviews and what people have to say about it post launch. Because Returnal is a game that you can put out commercials, you can market it as much as you want, but I think there's probably going to be a ceiling in terms of how many people are going to be sold on it based on commercials and all that stuff. I think that game really is gonna be a game that thrives off of word of mouth and people evangelizing it and people hitting up their friends and being like, yo, this new game that just came out, bro, let me tell you about it, dude. It's Returnal. It uses the DualSense really well, apparently. Like, I think those are the conversations and things that are gonna get people into that game. Where Ratchet and Clank is one that I think is a big PlayStation first party AAA title from one of their biggest studios. You want to put in commercials, you want to hype up. This is a game that's had a movie based off of it a few years ago come out. I think there's a bigger idea of what marketing looks like for PlayStation for Ratchet and Clank, as opposed to Returnal, which is the thing that you want to build up and probably want to have breathe over the next, let's say, couple of months before you even have Ratchet come out. Returnal is going to have the chance to come out and live over the next few weeks and months, because it's going to be the one PlayStation first party title that's out there for now. And I think that's going to give it the room to breathe and live and hopefully make a splash.
And that's a big thing there too, is like, again, I do think that in a perfect world, these would not be happening at the same time because that isn't ideal, but there are pros to it because marketing your big PlayStation title in Ratchet alongside this other PlayStation Studios title coming out that, again, hopefully is going to get good reviews and is well received by people, the gamers. I think that it's kind of just building the PlayStation brand and again, continuing that identity that PlayStation has of PlayStation Studios means quality. So if you're hyped about Ratchet and then you're like, all right, cool. And then you start looking more into the PlayStation stuff, Returnal's there and it's getting good reviews. It's like, that's the best marketing possible, is believing in a brand so much that you'll take a bet on a new IP like Returnal, even if you don't know what it is. I'm not talking about the us's of the world. I'm talking about the people that don't, if you said Housemark to them, they wouldn't know what it means.
Exactly.
And I think that having a title like Ratchet that the more people are familiar with in a mainstream way, I think definitely can help them in terms of awareness and then in terms of stickiness of actually getting people to buy and try out a game that they wouldn't necessarily try out just because it's a PlayStation Studios title.
Tim, let's move on to story number 2. Apex Legends adds a new permanent mode. This comes from Matt Purslow at IGN. The upcoming season of Apex Legends Legacy is set to add a new permanent 3v3 game mode called Arenas. Arenas is not a battle royale, but is instead a multi-round 3v3 mode with similarities to games like Valorant and Counter-Strike. Players fight on maps much smaller than those used for the battle royale, and have just one life per round to outplay the other team. Conclusive games can be over in 3 rounds, but a match can go as far as 9 rounds and into sudden death if teams are unable to outsmart their opponents. While you use the same weapons and characters as we do in the main Apex Legends Battle Royale mode, Arenas is a very different looking game type. For starters, there is no looting at all. Instead, a shopping phase before each round will allow players to purchase weapons, consumables, and upgrades. You can also purchase character abilities to keep the characters balanced for this mode. You'll have to buy charges of their tactical and ultimate abilities in this phase, rather than the Battle Royale's cooldown system. Currency for the store is provided at the start of every round, with bonuses awarded for kills and wins, much like in other tactical PvP shooters. Player equipment is reset at the start of each round to prevent power snowballing and keep matches to a swift average of 15 minutes. When Arenas launches, it will have 2 bespoke maps, Party Crasher, set on a ship that's crashed into a downtown plaza, and Phase Runner, a more rural, open map with long sightlines. More maps are in development, but since they take a while, 3 more maps have been made using segments of the Battle Royale maps. These will be Artillery from Kings Canyon, Thermal Station from Road's Edge, and Golden Garden from Olympus. The mode will launch with its 2 bespoke maps in Artillery, and the other 2 maps will be in the following weeks. Arenas could be the start of Apex Legends being a platform for other game modes beyond Battle Royale 2. Quote, "We're pretty good shooter makers, so how can we offer that in other ways?" said game director Chad Grenier in a Q&A session with the press. Quote, "So our first step has been in Arenas. We've got these other things we're doing in playtests where we're trying to expand even further than that. So I think you'll continue to see some innovations in some limited time modes and see us try a few things here and there. We do hope that Apex can be more than just a battle royale game." End quote. This is pretty cool stuff. As people know, I really love Apex Legends. I got to preview the new mode, and so far I've had a really good time with it. For a while I've been wanting Apex Legends to have more of an arena style mode, because I think the characters and the weapons and all that stuff in Apex seem like they would translate so well to having some sort of more direct team versus team PvP multiplayer. And for that, I would have expected them to go like an Overwatch method or even like more of a Titanfall deathmatch mode. But to see them actually go for having something that's more akin to something like a Valorant or a Counter-Strike, one, interesting, but two, from my time with it, really works. And yeah, I'm all about it. Tim, for you, I know you don't play Apex that much, but does this speak to you at all?
I mean, I love the game director saying we're pretty good shooter makers, so how can we offer that in other ways? Like, that's just a baller statement where they know what they have, and like they're right? Respawn make killer games, and I love the idea that they're trying to get weird and trying to do different things within the world, within the playset, the toy bucket they have of this battle royale world that they made, and this free to play idea that they're like, okay, cool, how do we change this so it's not just battle royale? How do we add more modes? And it reminds me a lot of things like Rocket League and there's so many games that have kind of become platforms over the years and kind of just become synonymous with like video games. And it's just like there are these like almost sports that happen alongside like the big tentpole releases where cool, there's a lot of games that come out and have their moments, maybe their week or two here and there, but there's also constantly these games that are just ever present that people can jump into. And I like the idea of even within those games there being a suite of different games, but you do need to kind of build that up. It can't just be like, here's a bunch of different modes and we're just going to see what sticks. I like the idea of trying out these arenas. Let's work on it. Let's figure it out. Let's get it built in so that it's something the community actually really likes alongside the battle royale. Then let's move on to something else and do the same thing there and, keep iterating and keep changing. I think that adds a lot of value and is definitely the best shot for Titanfall to come back in any way, right?
Yeah, 1000%. And we've had this conversation before of, is Apex Legends the answer to bringing back Titanfall? And I think seeing them move into trying to expand what Apex Legends can be in this way, I think points to the answer being potentially yeah. Like if they continue adding permanent modes like this, then I could see them eventually getting to the point where they're like, all right, it's time. Team deathmatch, Titans. We'll call it Titanfall and have it be a mode in Apex, or we'll maybe spin it off into a new game or do whatever with it. I think that's a really cool thing because they are in the preview I went to, they really did frame this as a new mode. They want this to stand alongside Battle Royale, which I think is a very fascinating thing. And I wonder how people are going to take to it, because if this is a thing that ends up speaking to people and gets people in as much as they are into Apex Legends Battle Royale, then I think that is going to speak to something special. And I think that means that you can continue to expand and probably continue to grow your player base by a lot, by creating multiple games within one game that people can get into. And so, yeah, I think this is really cool. I can't wait to see what the future of this is. I like the idea that they are continuing to figure out what other stuff they can do in Apex Legends. And I love how they go about it too with the limited time modes, because that's the thing that it feels like they do every few months or every season, where they'll add in just like some bullshit mode to see how people take to it. And like they've added in 2v2 or not 2v2. I think duos was limited time. Kind of funny.com says you're wrong. I think duos was limited time before they added it in as a more permanent thing. And yeah, like I think they do such a good job of maintaining this game and updating it, and now adding a whole new mode. And so, me and Andy will be doing a first impressions of the mode because we both got to have hands on with it. And so look forward to that coming later this week. But Tim, to stick on the topic of Respawn Studios, story number 3, Respawn Studios won an Oscar last night. This is
Wow.
Danielle Partis at GamesIndustry.biz. Respawn Entertainment and Oculus have staked a claim in the Academy Award for Best Documentary Short Subject at the 2021 Oscars for its in-game film, Colette. Colette is a 25-minute documentary made by Anthony Giacchino and Alice Doyard, co-produced by Respawn and Oculus. It features as part of the gallery mode in Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, a VR game released last year. The documentary tells the story of Colette Morin Catherine, a French resistance fighter, and it follows her journey back to Germany for the first time since World War II. Colette marks the first ever Academy Award win for a video game company. That's really cool.
Fantastic, man. Respawn doesn't take L's. They're just
Yeah.
out here doing it right. I love it. And this is huge for the video game industry as a whole, right? Like an Oscar is a huge deal and just makes the medium that much more relevant and that much more of a standout. Like I remember years ago when Christopher Tin, the composer for Civilization, won Grammy for Civilization 4's theme song. And it was just like, that's incredible. You know, it's just like these things that we love, these video games, can stand toe to toe with any other form of entertainment and should be appreciated as such. And I think that this is a fantastic step towards the more cinematic way, and it being the short film and all that stuff and being part of a VR game. There's so much here that feels like a major win because I don't think that Medal of Honor Above and Beyond is like at the tip of people's tongues when they're talking about the success of Respawn. But here we are. They're winning Oscars for the title we don't talk about. So good on them, right?
Exactly. That's the thing that blows me away is when we talk about Respawn, we talk about Titanfall, we talk about Apex, we talk about Jedi Fallen Order. And for this game that they released on Oculus, right, Medal of Honor, I don't know anybody that's played it personally. I know people are out there that have played it, but I personally haven't talked to anybody that was talking all about Medal of Honor on Oculus. And to see even that game that I've not heard much about win awards on this level, fantastic. Like again,
Yep.
I think you said it very well that Respawn doesn't take L's, and they've grown into not only a fan favorite EA studio, but just for me, like one of my favorite studios right now in
Period.
the industry. Like they continue to kill it and continue
They're
to
EA's
make.
Insomniac.
Yeah, honestly, like they continue to kill and continue to make moves on levels where it's like, wow, you guys are releasing multiple games in 1 year and are killing them both, right? Apex Legends and Jedi Fallen Order came out in the same year, in the same 12-month period, and I think the Insomniac comparison is very apt in the way that we're from Insomniac. We got Miles Morales, we're about to get Ratchet and Clank ripped apart. It's incredible to see studios have that type of consistency. And so shout out to Respawn. And you know what, Tim? It doesn't stop there because story number 4 also has to do with Respawn. Speaking of Respawn, it looks like they're working on a new IP. This comes from Twitter. Stephen Wong over there tweeted out, want to get in early and help build a new IP from scratch. We're a team of 5 right now looking for our 6th coder. And then Vince Zampella, you know him over at Respawn, the lead. He quote tweeted that and says, looking for an exciting new opportunity, ? New Respawn project, super exciting stuff, get in early. And so they don't stop. A new IP comes from Respawn. That's awesome.
Damn. Hell yeah, man.
Good
Video
for
games
them.
are cool. I love
Video
this.
games are cool. I didn't mention this a couple stories ago, and I probably should have included this, right? That like along with the trailer where they detailed the Apex Legends Legacy new mode, they also talked about new characters and all that stuff. You can of course go to Respawn's blog or IGN or where you want to get the details, but they did talk about Valk, and I should shout out Valk because Valk is the new character that's available for the new season coming May 4th. And her whole thing is that she can fly, and she has like this cool like rocket propeller move that's pretty dope. And I tried her out a few times. I'm sure we'll talk about her a bit in our first impressions with me and Andy. Very cool character, very very cool character, and so look out for that.
When are we getting Jedi Fallen Order 2, Bless? Because I kind of feel like it's getting announced this year, right? It feels like it's time.
Because it came out in end of 2019, that game came out.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that the sequel wouldn't be too far after that, maybe 3 or 4 years.
I am shocked that we didn't get some type of single player DLC. It felt perfect for that type of game, and I definitely expected it to happen. I think that with everything that happened last year. I understand it not happening, but we're at a point now where I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was scrapped, move on to the sequel sooner than kind of planned. But EA Play at E3, I think we're going to get it. I think it's going to get announced. Does it come out this year? Man. That's the bigger question, and I find that a little bit doubtful, but I'm still very excited.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got an announcement of the name Star Wars Jedi Tripped Over Order, whatever they call it, and that it actually
that was the worst joke you've ever made.
I know. I like the synapses were firing, and I was like, I know where I need to go for this joke, and I landed in a place that could have been way better.
Yeah,
they were almost there. They were almost Star Wars Jedi Standing Order. Would have been a better joke. Would have been a better.
It definitely would have been better.
Not an A+, but it would have been
not by much. Not by much.
Not by much, but it would have been better. But I think we see it in 2022. I think that game is either next year or the year after, and I'm hyped for it.
So cool.
Tim, let's take a break because I want to tell you about our sponsors. Of course, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad free. And speaking of ads, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Dr. Squatch. Okay, real talk here. That soap or body wash you're using, it's shit. And usually I'm not allowed to cuss in ad reads, but it says here in the ad read, the soap you're using, it's bad, it's shit. It's packed with harsh chemicals, synthetic detergents, and it's brutal on your skin. If you're ready to step up your game to soap, or if you're ready to step up your game to soap that's natural, great for your skin, it doesn't smell like a middle school locker room, Dr. Squatch is where it's at. Dr. Squatch is changing the way men approach their hygiene with their natural personal care products that make you feel like a man and smell like a champion. All of Dr. Squatch's soaps are made in the USA using the finest ingredients nature has to offer. That means natural cleansers and nourishing ingredients that are actually great for your skin. Dr. Squatch's soaps come in a huge range of natural, manly scents that are going to transform your shower. Whether it's their best-selling pine tar or scents like bay rum and cedar citrus, you're never going to have a boring shower ever again. Let me tell you, my first shower experience with Dr. Squatch can only be described as heavenly. It was great. I love Dr. Squatch. The grapefruit IPA scent is to die for. And let me tell you, there are not many things I would use that descriptor for. Like, Tim, what is to die for? Not much, except this grapefruit IPA scent. It's fantastic.
The deep sea goat milk one is really good.
Oh,
really
yes.
good.
That one's also great.
Using. Yeah.
It smells awesome. If you really want to make it easy on yourself, you can also subscribe to Dr. Squatch, just like the hundreds of thousands of other guys out there. Every month, fresh bars of Squatch show up to your door. It's super easy. They got a full lineup of personal care goods like deodorant, hair care, and toothpaste. Right now, new customers can get 20% off on orders of $20 or more when you go to drsquatch.com and enter code DSCKFGD. That's drsquatch.com code DSCKFGD for 20% off on orders of $20 or more. We're also brought to you by Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. Grab your weapons and join the resistance because Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for PlayStation 5 is here June 10th. The shadowy Shinra Corporation is draining the planet's very life force, all for their own gain. The mercenary Cloud Strife teams with Tifa, Barrett, and Aerith to take Shinra down. Whether they succeed depends on you. We are so excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's the definitive edition of the award-winning Final Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade comes with so many expanded graphical, gameplay, and system enhancements. We're talking improved lighting, crispier backgrounds, more realistic textures. Intergrade brings the game's visuals to a whole new level. Plus, you can switch between graphics mode and performance mode depending on whether you want 4K or super smooth action with 60 frames per second. You know, I love me some performance mode. Plus, yes, there's also a plus. The game comes bundled with episode Intermission, a brand spanking new episode featuring Wutai Ninja Yuffie as the main character, where she'll conspire with Avalanche HQ to steal the ultimate materia from the Shinra Electric Power Company. Pre-order Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade today by going to sqex.link/remakekf. That is sqex.link/remakekf. We're also brought to you by Caviar. Loving good food doesn't necessarily mean you are able to cook well. If you want a great meal but need a little help, let the restaurant come to you. Caviar can help. Caviar is the food delivery app for people that are into good food. They bring the best local restaurants directly to your doorstep. Other apps may have national chains, but Caviar keeps it local. Those hidden gems in your neighborhood, they're on Caviar. Caviar curates local options for every taste, whether it's the perfect Reuben from the sandwich shop or the best Indian vegan curry. You always have options for whatever you want. Not sure what you want to eat? Let Caviar's staff picks recommend the best spots in your neighborhood to find your new favorite. And just for our listeners, Caviar is offering $10 off an order of $20 or more. All you have to do is put in the offer code Kinda Funny at checkout. Remember, that's $10 off a purchase of $20 or more with offer code Kinda Funny. Download the Caviar app and use code Kinda Funny. Last but not least, we're brought to you by Channel Fireball Box Breaks. Channel Fireball is a very big name in the collectible and trading card industries. Our new initiative, CFB Box Breaks, involves live-streamed pack and box openings. People will purchase a group in a break. I'll use basketball as an example. Let's say you all buy in, all right? Tim gets the Cavaliers cards, Greg gets all the Miami Heat cards, etc. And the break happens live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. They stream breaks starting at 1 p.m. Tuesday to Thursday, 3 p.m. Friday and Saturday. There are also personal breaks. Let's say I buy an entire box of Pokemon cards and they open it live on stream before shipping me the contents. Each stream also builds to a premium break. These are usually spicier or more expensive breaks with big hits in them. For example, this Saturday, they are breaking a box of revised Magic the Gathering. Each booster pack is $500, and there are cards worth $1,000, over $1,000 you can open in there. Box breaks are a fun way to get your hands on collectible cards, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, sports cards, and more. They're running an awesome deal on Battle Styles, the hottest new Pokemon set right now, and you can get a box cheaper with CFB Box Breaks than anywhere else. So head to cfbboxbreaks.com and make sure to use the code Kinda Funny so they know we sent you and get 5% off your first break. Tim, Robert, GIBiz.
Kevin, please bring it up real quick. That's the Chonkachu. And this is one of the cards you can get from the box breaks.
God.
Go check it out. I love this so much. Anyways,
That's fantastic.
He's so
I love that it's called the
chonky.
Chonkachu.
He's so chonky.
I love that he's called the Chonkachu. Let's move over to story number 5. The Last of Us HBO show has its directors. This is from Denise Petski at Deadline. Oscar nominee Jasmila Banik and Ali Abbasi have been added as directors on The Last of Us, HBO's high-profile series adaptation of Sony PlayStation's franchise from Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. Druckmann and Mazin write and executive produce. Carolyn Strauss also executive produces, along with Naughty Dog president Evan Wells, Assad Kizilbash, and Carter Swan of PlayStation Productions, as well as Rose Lamb. Zabonic's latest film, Quo Vadis, Ada, is nominated for the Best International Film Feature Oscar. Yes, Best International Film Feature Oscar at Sunday's Academy Awards. Last night, the film won the Film Independent Spirit Award for Best International Film. Bonick is repped by CAA and Good Chaos. Abbasi won the Cannes Film Festival's Uncertain, and those are two different words. And I think that's French. Uncertain, I assume, Regard Award for directing in 2018 for his film Border, also known as Grands. Cool. It seems like this is actually happening, which is awesome.
Could not be more excited for The Last of Us HBO show. Every single move they've made has just wowed me with how perfect it seems and how interesting a take on the franchise this seems to be. Like we had confirmation a while back that the music's going to be done by Gustavo, the same person that did Last of Us 1 and 2. And just the music is so much about the tone, or it sets the tone and atmosphere of that game so well that imagining that translated to an HBO quality show, which every single move they're making in terms of the actors, in terms of the directors, all this stuff, obviously Druckmann being as involved as he is, I think we have something extremely, extremely special on our hands with this.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm still in the place where I'm like, I don't know how a Last of Us TV show can live up to what my love is for Last of Us the game, but I'm happy to see them try. I think HBO, it being an HBO, puts it in the right hands for them to treat it like something that's quality and prestige, and so I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about story number 6. Humble Bundle limits charity donations to 15%. This is Danielle Partis, again, at GamesIndustry.biz. Humble Bundle has unveiled a redesign that will alter how users split their donations. As part of this update, the company will remove sliders that give users the option to flexibly adjust what percentage of the donation goes toward publishers, charities, and Humble. The new system will instead feature two static options: a default donation that gives 85% of a donation to publishers, 10% to Humble, and 5% to charity. The other, extra to charity option, will split the figure so that it's 15% that goes toward the chosen cause instead. As it stands, the slider's default donation option is set up so that 65% of a sum goes to the publisher, 30% to Humble, and 5% to charity. Tim, this broke over the weekend. Have you been following this at all?
Very lightly. I've just seen a little bit of the Twitter discourse around it. Like, this definitely sounds like a very shitty thing, and I hope that it gets reversed soon, and I expect it to.
Yeah, I think this will get reversed, because this is one of those decisions where it's like, not only does it seem like it's tone deaf, but also kind of immoral, kind of like immoral in the way that it's like, wow, how are you guys gonna screw over the charities in this way? Not
Totally.
let people give more and have that choice of where they want to slide it.
Absolutely,
and so I
man.
assume this is
Using
gonna be
charity
fixed.
as a marketing tactic it's dirty, it's shameful, and like looking at this, like they're getting called out for it, and rightfully so. So again,
Yeah.
I hope that the people in charge look at that and are like, hey, this is not what we're trying to do. And to the credit of just people as a whole, it's like it gets iffy sometimes, and best laid intentions sometimes like turn bad when we're dealing with things like charity, where sometimes decisions are made without thinking through every step of the way of like how
For
the
sure.
dominoes are going to affect other things. And this could be one of those cases. However, it is on them to reverse it, because this is a problem, and the dominoes did lead to a bad place that clearly makes it seem like the charity aspect at this point is just used for marketing to make more money, as opposed to trying to like help people and go to a good cause.
Yeah. And like I've been seeing a lot of people throwing flack IGN's way for this, and I think there's a big misunderstanding of how all of this stuff works. IGN doesn't own Humble; they're both owned by the same parent company. And so like I all the replies I saw to this on Twitter, like in a large part of the discourse, even in chat right now, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, IGN bought Humble, and look what happened." It's like, no, they're owned by the same parent company. IGN doesn't really have any say into how this happens.
I don't know that that's true.
You don't think so?
Fully. I think that some people do have say. I don't know the all the details, so I don't want to speak out of line here, but I'm pretty sure there's more people. There are decisions being made that I don't think are being made by IGN exactly, but I think that there are IGN people involved. But again, knowing any of the IGN people I do, this isn't going to stand if that's the case, and if they have any say over it. So
For sure. Let's talk about our last news story for the day. Story number 7, Resident Evil Village is extending its demo. This comes directly from them on Twitter at RE Games. They tweeted out this: "We've heard your feedback and are extending the availability period for the final 60-minute multi-platform #RE Village demo. The original 24-hour window, starting 5 p.m. Pacific time, May 1st, has been increased by a week and now ends at the same times on May 9th Pacific time." And so awesome, good for them. This whole demo situation has been bizarre.
it's so bizarre, to the point that I was just like, I was this weekend trying to figure out when I could play. There was just so many dates and times that honestly not that complicated to figure out had I just looked at it, but it frustrated me to the point that I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna play the game when it comes out. I don't need to do this right now. And like that just sucks.
Yeah, no,
Because I was looking at a chart, and it was just like, there's this demo, and then there's the castle demo, and then there's the castle multi-platform demo, and I'm just like,
yep.
I have all the fucking consoles.
And some of those are only
I don't
available
care
for
where
30
I'm
minutes.
playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like some of them are like, okay, here's 30 minutes. Okay, you can do this for 60 minutes. Okay, you can do this for as long as you want. And it's like us doing the live reaction to the showcase in real time, we were all like, all right, what the fuck? Like, which one? I'm gonna once we look at the chart, it'll make sense. But then when you look at the chart, it's still like, all right, I guess whatever. Well, I guess I'll play it when it's available. And so them extending it, like this for people who are like, I'm busy during that 24-hour window. It's nice for them to do. So good for them. Tim, I'm really excited for Resident Evil Village, but man, about a month from now, it's just so far away.
It's true.
If I was coming out to mom and pop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today. We got nothing. There's nothing out today. Sorry.
Whoa.
But yeah. One of
No.
those rare ones. You know what? It was the same last week too. I fucked up last week because there was no out today for Monday, and I didn't realize that, and so I accidentally copied Tuesdays over to Mondays. But this is the second Monday in a row where there's no out today.
Mondays.
Slow Mondays. But we do have a new date for you. Planet Coaster Console Edition Ghostbusters and Studios Pack is coming April 29th.
I wonder who
Planet
put this
Coaster
on the doc.
Ghostbusters. That was actually me. I got the email
Oh.
for it. But when I did see it, I was like, I wonder if that's the thing that would get Greg into trying out Planet Coaster, a Ghostbusters pack.
I
have
think
to
that
see.
he has been spoiled with enough Ghostbusters riches at this point that this isn't the type of thing that he'd be like, you know what, I have to try it because it's Ghostbusters. Whereas a couple years ago, he would have been like, anything, I have to do it.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for nerd culture as a whole. We're
for
growing
us.
and everything's been brought back in plentiful fashion.
And then we have a couple of deals of the day for you. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming to Game Pass on May 4th. And then Velen Studios' upcoming team-based dodge brawl title, Knockout City, will be free for all EA Play members when it brawls onto the gaming scene on May 21st. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Xbox Game Pass for PC members will also have access to the full game through their access to EA Play. So get hyped for that. Xbox Game Pass just keeps on growing, getting better.
Yeah, man. Crazy. They're just like doing everything, going all out to just be like, we need to get them subscription numbers. We need them numbers up, man. When we drop that shit on stage at some point, it's going to be like, bow, millions on millions and millions of fans using Game Pass.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw a tweet earlier today where somebody was like, dude, paying $70 for a game feels weird after getting multiple free games in a row through Game Pass. Because what, you just got Outriders and MLB The Show, and like the hits don't stop there. And like, I definitely understand people who are like, oh yeah, $70 is a lot of money. I don't want to spend $70 on video games anymore. I can just rock with Game Pass. Because
having said that, though, I would gladly pay $70 for Ratchet and Clank over a lot of the things that are on Game Pass. So it's like, I don't want to, like, we need to always, when we talk about the value of Game Pass, we also need to talk about the value of a $70 game. The games cost money to make. So,
I mean, but you can say the same thing about MLB The Show and Outriders. Like, people, both those games are $70 at their next gen versions.
Yeah, totally. Not necessarily saying every game's worth $70, and maybe those are, but I am saying that Ratchet and Clank seems to be in a way that a lot of the games on Game Pass aren't.
For sure. Of course, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunnygames where you can get the show ad free. You can also write in with your questions, just like Witt did. Witt wrote in and says, alongside new Ratchet and Clank gameplay, PlayStation announced the new State of Play will also show updates from 2 upcoming indie titles. Which indies are you expecting to appear for this unique State of Play? Stay safe and healthy, Witt. Tim, if you had to put your prediction cap on, what do you think is going to appear at the State of Play aside from Ratchet and Clank?
I think it's just Ratchet and Clank, right? Like, I think this is going to be one of those Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2 type State of Plays that are just single game focused. Here we go, right?
Well, I'm gonna look over at the PlayStation blog because I missed what Witt mentioned here about 2 indie games being presented. So I want to make sure that's right. So give me a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact wording of this State of Play situation.
Type it in State of Play, and I misspelled state. Because if this is the case, I would expect something from Stray. All right, here we go.
So
Want to see more?
Okay.
We're pleased to announce that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is the focus of PlayStation's next State of Play, and it's just 3 days away. There's nothing in this blog post specifically, and I'm reading from the Ratchet and Clank blog post.
I'm gonna go to PlayStation's Twitter.
All right. Because if this is the case, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kena Bridge of Spirits, and I also wouldn't be surprised to see Stray. But those would be the 2 for me. I'm sure Solar Ash would probably be in there too.
All right, here we go. So, introducing Rivet, see the mysterious Lombax in action in today's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart trailer. Then tune in to the State of Play on Thursday at 2 p.m. for extended gameplay, plus updates on a pair of upcoming indie titles.
Okay, there it is.
So, 2 indie titles alongside Ratchet. That's interesting. It not being just Ratchet leads me to believe we might see a couple other things. We might see Kena. We might see a Returnal announcement, or not announcement, but like launch trailer type thing. But I wouldn't expect much. I don't expect any crazy like get hype moments. I don't expect Horizon or anything there.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they mentioned indies, right? So like, I would imagine hype for what you consider PlayStation indies hype to be. Because if you're only focusing on a pair, I think that's going to be a banger pair. That's something you want eyes on, especially because this is a Ratchet and Clank state of play, and so you imagine people are going to tune into it. And so
well, there was a lot of indies announced at the PS5 reveal event and stuff like that. Yeah. The Goodbye Volcano High.
Goodbye Volcano High. Solar. I keep bringing up, right? Solar Ash, Stray.
Yeah.
There's
a
Jet
whole
the
bunch.
Far Shore. Like there's a lot they can touch on. Kena Bridge of Spirits, I would also put in there. I think the potential is high. Some people in chat have been saying that like Hades isn't available on PlayStation, and it could be cool to put an announcement there that Hades is finally coming through. I think that'd be an awesome thing. Where our Little Devil Inside, I don't know if we mentioned that yet. That's one that I've seen people be hyped for. And so there's potential there. Recompile also. There's a lot that could be there. My two guesses, just purely based off of speculation and nothing else. I would say Stray. No, actually, I would say Solar Ash, since that's coming up this summer, and Kena. I think those are two potential bangers that you have right there. And you want to get as many eyes on them as possible. Alongside Ratchet, yeah. I think that makes sense. Also, when you go to patreon.com, so it's kind of funny games, you can write in with your squad ups just like Gage Luke did. Gage Luke wrote in with this. I'm in that weird space right now where I'm eagerly anticipating the remastered Mass Effect trilogy. It is making it hard to jump into anything too expansive or deep. I'm thinking the answer is multiplayer. Send me a tweet or an invite on Xbox of something you need a squad for, and I'd gladly join in and click some heads. I'm usually free in the evenings, say around 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Weeknights and whenever, and those are weeknights, and whenever on weekends. Let's make some mayhem or have some goofy indie fun. Cheers. If you want to add Gage Luke on Xbox, you can add them with the username Luke Shot First, and first is spelled with a number 1. So Luke Shot number 1 ST, and that's on Xbox, and it's also on Twitter if you want to play on other platforms with Luke. Tim, people can go over to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where they can write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Let's see here. I think we killed it.
We killed it,
man. Yeah. There's no you're wrongs. Like all the you're wrongs here are for missed news that we covered. And then also like somebody wrote in with missed deals, but we don't include every single deal because there's a limitless amount of deals.
So many deals, day. Not enough days.
We just pick and choose what deals we think would be good for you. All right, you can trust us. You can trust us here. This week's hosts for the rest of the week for Kind of Funny Games Daily go like this. Tomorrow, you're getting the return of Greg. It's Greg and Gary Witta. Wednesday, it's me and Tim. Thursday, it's Greg and Tim. And then on Friday, it's Greg and me. If you're watching this live on Twitch right now, after this is Mike and Nick playing. Actually, no, that's not correct. After this, Kevin, do you know what's after this?
Nick is playing. Nick's playing Uncharted with Big Kev Dog. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mike's taking the day off.
Dope. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, game daily.